is nothing but a shit show. And if you don't give a fuck what people say, you're better off, really. If I gave a fuck what people thought about me, Jesus Christ. Do it. Let's fucking wrestle. Fuck you and your goddamn 4 tits. I will poke your fucking tits out. I will bash you in the head, and I will, I'll bring you down the street, bitch. Let's fight. Maybe that's why I got told no a lot. Maybe that's why I didn't get the big money or anything like that, because I basically told everyone to fuck off. Listen, asshole. Hey, everybody. Woo! How many fucks given again? I still haven't counted, but there's a lot.
4 tits will never get old.
I don't know what the 4 tits thing is.
About the 4 tits will never get old.
I swear to Jesus, Marcus fucking put that in there, and I'm like, why would you pick that? Why would you pick 4 tits? Why?
Somebody may have given him a hint. Do you know what the hint was?
What?
The best stuff is in the videos that were not monetized on YouTube because of Madusa's profane language. That was the hint. So
okay.
The ones YouTube wouldn't let us monetize are where those clips were pulled from.
That's just the shits. Anyway, everybody, welcome to Trash Talk. Welcome to our show. So good to have you. We've got a few things that we're going to be talking about. We're going to hit upon a couple, hard-hitting subjects. But again, it's my thought, my perspective, Red's perspective, his thoughts, his feelings. And yeah. I mean, I'm not perfect. Red's not perfect, but together, we're one powerful fucking perfect show, podcast, whatever. Podcast seems so old, doesn't it?
Yeah, we are content creators now. I think that's the new.
That's even old
line.
Shit. Content creators even sound old. I'd say we just welcome to Trash Talk show.
Here. So, Madusa, your crowd is joining us early.
Yay!
We love it. Absolutely love it.
Mm-hmm.
John Price off of your X account. Madusa, thank you for what you've done for the sport, pro wrestling, and
you're welcome.
How many doors you've opened for both men and women. So,
and how many I've shut and slammed shut and kicked. Yes.
Your work in the NWA, big part of what made me fall in love with wrestling. So there you go.
NWA, huh?
That's John Price off of your X account making those comments. John, welcome to the show. Don't believe we've seen you before. Although the usual suspects are here, Madusa. We got Morty, Steepo's here, Mark's here, C-Note's here.
Oh, the gang is here. C-Note's here.
We are ready to rock and roll. So y'all just trash talkers. Exactly, C-Note. Look at this guy.
That's right. Oh, don't let him fool you. He's a big trash talker himself. He likes to stir up some shit.
Well, you came to the right place because I heard that's what Madusa and I do around here.
Eat me, Deuce. Okay. Well, here we go.
Roll the beat. Here we go.
and C-Note is here. So anyway, we have a really great show tonight. It's kind of a free for all. Again, guys, don't forget the merch. Don't forget the book. You can order it on the website, Madusa.com. I'll sign it. You just tell me what you want. There's other goodies on there. And I know you guys have been asking and I kept putting it off. I think I'll put together another auction. I know you all love that. A lot of good stuff in this auction coming up. I don't know when, probably after WrestleMania sometime. How's that? So there will be an auction, let's say April, May. Okay. Is that good, guys? There'll be some stuff in there that's never been up before. I found some other shit and I'd be like, damn. So you got some wrestling gear, you got some monster truck stuff, you've got just amazing stuff through my careers that will be in that auction.
May I
again,
ask before you move
what?
on?
Yes.
Will the belt be available at the auction?
Oh, I wish WWE would just ask for the belt back. Just, hey, get here. Yeah. Why just hand it over? No, just, hey, give me 100 grand. I'll be happy.
Isn't that what you
And
said the bid is? The starting price is
yeah,
$100,000.
100,000. Sure. Yeah, Rockin' Robin, by the way, here's a little tidbit and information. A very dear good friend of mine, Rockin' Robin, she is Jake's sister. Um, so she wrestled in the WWE, and her and I wrestled against each other. So all of these years, you guys did not know, but she had the original title that Moolah had, and when she got let go, she still had the title. It must be a thing. They keep letting people go and have the title. And
I
she
would like to
title, yeah.
I would like to tell you and Miss Robin that you're both special, but you're not.
Special
Uh,
love.
WWE just did not give a shit. That was what the
N
problem there was. They
Oh
just
my
did not
god.
care. Tell me I'm wrong. They did not care about women's wrestling until
No.
2016.
But we love where it's going and what's been happening. Still a lot of changes need to be done still to this day, but we're gonna get into that as well. I do have, a couple appearances coming up at the Squared Circle Con. That's
April
April 25th, and
25th.
that's in Indianapolis, really. So there's gonna be a lot of people there. And then the one in Charlotte, I think that's what I'm gonna see your happy ass.
That's right.
That's right.
And I might even show up a day before, so I can
Yes, because we're
hang
gonna go
out
do
with you. Are you bringing
yeah,
Sarge or is it just you and
just
just you?
me.
Okay, well,
Yep, yep, yep. So
you'll be
yeah,
missed.
that do what?
August 2nd, Morty. It's used to be NWA Legends. It's now The Gathering, tribute to
Yes,
the 1985 Starcade. Super Genius American Dream. Dusty Rhodes came up with
August
the
2nd.
name, but
Mhm,
it's August the 2nd when Deuce will be there. The event runs August the 1st through August the 4th. So
mhm.
um it's great in Charlotte. It's one of two big North Carolina conventions. The other one, of course, WrestleCade happens Thanksgiving weekend. So I don't know that
Charlotte's
Madusa
only
will
3
be
hours away? That's cool, because that's about how
Charlotte.
far you have to go, right, Red?
Yeah, Charlotte is 3 hours for me.
Oh,
So
oh, good.
and Morty says Charlotte is 3 hours for me. Morty must be from the other direction. Mortis, what state do you live in? Is it South
Atlanta,
Carolina by chance?
Georgia.
Oh, it's Georgia. Okay, well there you go. He used to live in Uranus, Missouri, as we know. That's for Morty right there.
He
Always play the hits, ladies and gentlemen. That's what we do around here.
uh,
But Madusa.com, get your merch, get your books. Amazon is available. It is available by audio, if
It
that is
is, I
your.
keep forgetting that, thank you. Yes, it is now available on audiobook, The Woman Who Would Be King, forward by, Paul Heyman. So
If I may, ma'am. Paul
what?
Heyman. Paul Heyman was on SmackDown, ma'am. If I
Oh,
may.
yeah, excuse me.
If I may.
Excuse me. Yeah, he looks like
And
he was getting himself in some hot water.
he's fucking with Roman, and that's not
Yeah, he
good.
is.
He's bucking the wrong guy,
Yes,
going with
cause you
CM
know
Punk.
why? Cause he
Mm-mm.
owes Punk a favor.
Yeah, that sucks. Tell Paul to stay with Roman. What's ultimately going to happen is it's a double swerve, bro, and he's going to end up with Seth Rollins by the time it's said and done.
I fucking hope. Are you okay? We're not gonna even talk. Okay, we'll maybe get into that later. But anyway, so that is the fucking download. So our show, I just wanted to add a little like spice into our show. And every so often, intermittently, I shouldn't say that every so often. Like I just now got another video from a independent girl wrestler, and she at once, hey Deuce, I was just wondering, it'd be an honor. Could you look at my matches? Here's a match of mine. Um, and I'm like, absolutely, because I think the world of her. I think she's got a lot of potential. And so she sent me her video and I'm sitting there looking at it. And I'm like, hell yeah. I said, can I have your permission? I have a podcast that we're going to start airing independent wrestlers and talk about them and the critique and, not throw them under the bus, just critique them. And she's like, yeah, so I'm going to wait to hear from her again. So our next one will be this girl. I can't say her name yet because I want to get her permission. And so, yeah, there's that. So tonight we are opening up this show with an independent wrestler that is very new to the business, very new, but he's not new when it comes to behind the scenes of the business. Now, Marcus DeAngelo is an independent wrestler, but he was my not marketing, he was my social media guy for a long time. And when I stopped traveling so much, I just, I didn't need him, but our friendship stayed. So Marcus does a lot of video, he does a lot of graphics. He's just a very talented man. Now, not to mention, he has a beautiful wife, a baby, and a new baby. And now he's wrestling at I think I don't I'm not sure. I think he's in his late 30s,
He
maybe
is 38 years old because
38
he's a year
years old,
younger than I
young.
am.
And
Yeah.
so he kind of reminds me, before we get into this, he reminds me of a DDP, where he is a self-marketing guru. And the wrestling when he started was kind of, but there's more potential with Marcus. Now, Marcus doesn't know what the fuck I'm going to say. And he's very scared and nervous. He's like, I don't want you to show. I don't want you to. I'm like, dude, you're an independent wrestler. You've only had a few matches. And from what I've seen, guys, you're going to shit yourself. He's a natural. He is a natural heel. And so I want to share this with the world because I want to show you that there's so many gifted people out there that may or may not even get, the chance or the platform to shine. So with my name and my ability to do that, I want to be able to do that with some of these independent wrestlers. And then while doing so, because he always asks me to critique his matches, so why not share this with the world and get his name out there more? Now, a plus to that is that he sent me one of his promos and I nearly fucking spit out my spit out my tea when I was watching. And I was like, my God, he's good. He's really good. And so we are going to take a look at a promo, and we're going to take a look at a match. And we're going to critique what I think, and then of course what Red sees and feels about it. But again, this is never to throw anybody under the bus, nor would I. Even talking about other people, even if I really, really, really dislike somebody, I refrain really hard and I bite the fucking tongue not to throw them under the bus live. As Red knows, because he hears it on the back end after after the show about some people. But so there's that. Oh my God, Rye's back. Oh, Rye. Hi. Um, so okay, so that's how we're gonna start. So we're gonna go into Marcus DeAngelo. Then we're gonna go into some WWE women's stuff. And then we're going to start cracking open the JFK files. So when I say cracking open the JFK files, it's just the introduction. I mean, there's so much. 70,000 pages have been read, glanced over, kind of fingered through, just whatever. But there's a lot to take in. And some of it is so shocking. I mean, a lot of us, after us doing our own due diligence and, putting it all together, we've had a feeling for a long time, but no one is ready for the truth, and no one will fathom and think that, oh, it could never be true. But it's true. It's happening. It's like we're in a matrix. We're in our own fucking movie, people, and we're being played, and it's just fucked up. So, anyway, so that's what we're going to hit. Now, when we get into the JFK files, remember, this is going to be a long, just a little bit each time, right? While we do others as well, because this is such an interesting piece. And the reason why I take, so, I mean, I feel a part of it is because when I was probably in 8th grade, I did a report on the JFK on JFK and the assassination. And I have the Life magazine, the original fucking huge Life magazine with JFK on the file on the front with the oh God. And then I had another one and I cut it all up and I made a report about it. And I still have that to this day. And I think once we get to that segment of it, I will pull out that report and show you guys. You're going to shit yourself. And so I just feel that's going to be kind of interesting. And it's going to open up your eyes to a lot of things and what really happened and what was being done and how government really works and it worked back then and how you can't even fathom and how fast it is and what they are capable of today. So there's that. Okay. Red, are you ready?
I am ready, ma'am. Would you like to start with Mr. DeAngelo's promo that had you about spitting your water out?
Do what now?
You want to start with Marcus's promo?
Yeah. Okay, guys. This is Marcus DeAngelo. He's a really good friend of ours. Again, he does other podcasts and stuff with Red, and he does our marketing. He does a lot of our graphics, but he's a wrestler and he is an independent pro wrestler, and this is where his heart is. He absolutely loves it. So I'm going to introduce you to Marcus DeAngelo, the best independent heel I've seen in a long time. Roll.
Well, I will add this because I do talk to Marcus every day. I do the research for the Jake show along with Lance, sometimes input on DiBiase, etc. Of course, he got me and Deuce connected.
Yes.
Marcus was going to wrestle one match just so he could say, I wrestled a wrestling match.
Yeah.
And now he loves it, to Deuce's point. He absolutely loves pro wrestling. He's hooked on it. He was only ever going to wrestle one time, and it's for IWC, International Wrestling Cartel, same group and outfit that has indeed trained Britt Baker and Wardlow and others that you've seen on television. He just wrestled Victor Benjamin, and that's what this promo is about, is the high-stakes title for IWC. So,
is that the match we're going to watch too?
No, this is not the match we watch. We're watching the Altoona match, which is hilarious.
That's right. That's right.
But I'm going to go ahead and show you all this. It is available on Fight TV for a very good price. The event was very well received, but I'll show you the promo. Then we're going to watch the match from Altoona.
Here we go. Better be shitting yourself, Marcus. Just kidding. You know he's watching. He said, "Oh, can you do the full one?"
Podcaster.
There you go.
We roll out of bed at around 10:30. My family is gone by then, which is perfect because it means I don't have to help get.
Can you turn it up? Wait, replay it. Start it from the beginning.
Matt gifted me personally.
Okay. No way to turn it up?
You're doing too much, Deuce. My volume's 100%.
Is it? Okay, I'll be quiet.
Okay.
A day in the life of a famous wrestling podcaster. I usually roll out of bed at around 10:30. My family is gone by then, which is perfect because it means I don't have to help get the kids ready for school. First thing I do is DDPY on a mat gifted me personally by my friend Diamond Dallas Page. Maybe you've heard of him. Next, I go through fan emails, usually 80 to 100 autograph requests per day. I love my fans. After that, I'll sit down to do a podcast with a Hall of Famer. Hit record, talk to a legend, collect my money. When I'm done recording, I'll hit the gym and then go back to bed for a couple hours. Health first. When I wake up, I scout my opponents. At IWC 24, it's a triple threat match for the high-stakes title. Felix Cause is the current champion, but I knocked him out and pinned him last month, so that belt should really be mine right now. Victor Benjamin looks like he shares a stylist with Cam Newton. He claims to be a fighter, but check out this recent photo of him. What a loser. IWC 24 goes down tomorrow at Mark's Court Time in Elizabeth, PA, starting at 7 p.m. If you can't be there live to watch me become the new high-stakes champion, make sure you order it on Fight. A day in the life.
Oh my God. I thought him putting that together was creative as hell. And talk about a fucking heel.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep. So he's the character, I've said this before, the character he plays, his wrestling persona is a very unaware individual who just says the most outlandish things, doesn't think wrestling is hard, takes everything for granted. I mean, it just thinks everything is easy, et cetera, lucks into things. And that's who he plays, and he models himself after Tully and DiBiase especially, which you guys will see here in a minute. But he embraces the character, which is why it works. And then he puts stuff like this on social. To Madusa's point, this is very well thought out, very skilled, very crafted. And Deuce, they didn't have this 30 years ago when you were trying to get over. So social media has been such a vehicle for some of these wrestlers, Marcus included, where people are now starting to pay attention because, contrary to what people may believe, it's not just about wrestling. You've got to have the whole deal, the presentation, the promo, the package, the story. He works very hard on his diet and his exercise, his body, and then he does stuff like this. You know, that took hours for him to put together.
Yes, and redoing editing, get positioning, camera angle. I mean, one-man band, but to put it together, yeah. You know, on the so what I want to do with this promo is at the beginning when it starts, I feel that I love the whole promo, number 1. Number 2, I feel that he could have spoke a little slower to get across instead of da 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 da. Now, maybe he was trying to keep it in the time frame to keep it on Instagram or something. I don't know, but maybe less than, and so people can understand what he's saying a little bit better. I liked everything about it. There's nothing bad. But just there was just needed to be a little bit slower so you can understand it louder too. He's got a soft voice to be a heel, and I think he needs to address that volume a little bit. I know when we watch his match, there's a few things about that as well that I wanted to talk about. So I think when it comes to promos, he's gifted because he's cocky anyway. And, but I will tell you, his personal life is different than that. He's the best dad and best husband. He's got the amazing kids. He's blessed. So he's just all around a great guy. So now let's get to this match.
You ready for the match?
Yeah.
Okay, so I need this box, and we're gonna do this.
So when I have a mic in my hand, you people shut your mouths.
Get ready to pause it when I.
A few weeks ago, you people would kill the attack is gonna die too. I was here a couple weeks ago, and I took out one of your local boys, and I struck a man in his face. I prove the people here in Altoona are just as weak-bodied as they are weak-minded.
Oh, well, come on. I live here.
Tonight, shut up, fat boy. You'll see me in the parking lot.
Uh-oh. He's going to fight a fat boy in the parking lot.
All right. I'm here tonight.
Are they calling him Mr.
I'm
Clean?
here tonight for two reasons. The first reason, I'm doing an open challenge. Any wrestler
Okay,
back
pause
there
it.
who's from Altoona, I'm going to...
Okay, so when he came out, I didn't see it, but I wanted to. I made a suggestion to him earlier about when he comes out, either he grabs the mic or the mic is given to him, and he has a little gimmick, and he puts on his own podcast, his graphic, you know, those little things you slip on the microphones. So he has his own name on his microphone, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I just said something so simple. So when he gets in there, you notice that he's pacing a lot fast and he's all over. Where it was, you see today when they do promos, it's one step they look. You look and you're just zeroing in, you're getting heat for a little bit at each, not running around, because it's very hard to understand what he's saying when he does that. And then if he could just get the crowd, to get the crowd, to control the crowd at each step that he does, he'll get more heat that way. But anyway, I just suggested to him to put a slide on one of those things, those that you put on the mic, and with his
mic
own
flags, the mic
logo.
cubes, yeah.
Yeah.
The mic cube, yeah.
And that way he can, when he hands the mic back or whatever he does, he can just take it back and he can throw it out to the crowd to give it to him or something, or he just keeps it, right? And he uses it as a gimmick as well in the match. So there's that. So that was the first thing. As you can tell, he's not a big guy. But you would never know by the way he speaks. He speaks as if he's 6'4". You know what I'm saying? So you don't even recognize the fact, but he is. I'm going to say he's a Guerrero size, maybe, if I'm not mistaken. Red?
5'10", 175.
5'10". Yeah. Okay. So yeah, right around there. Okay, go on.
Struck the face with their mat too. The other reason I'm here is so that the women in Altoona can see what a real man looks like.
Oh, okay. You think they like what they see?
They deserve it. They deserve it.
Doesn't sound like it.
See real man. Hey, look. If you guys came here with a girl tonight, you know what she's gonna say on the way home? She's gonna say, "No, honey, it's not true. I wouldn't rather be with Marcus DeAngelo, but the three of us, we're all gonna know the truth, aren't we?"
See how he's taking his time?
Hey, don't worry though, I'm not gonna steal your women. I'm not into livestock.
All right. I like that.
All right, that's enough. I'm guessing that most of the people here don't even understand a single word I said. So, any wrestler back there who's from Altoona, come on out and get it in the ring with me, and we all know what's gonna happen. You're gonna end up looking at the light.
Well, he's called a shot. Let's see who answers.
Door. Come back whenever he wants. And he's come back to shut up the foul mouth of Marcus DeAngelo, who's been speaking very disparagingly about the people of Altoona.
I'm sure that's not who Marcus DeAngelo was expecting to come through the curtain.
He said anybody from Altoona. He got one of Altoona's sons. All right, here we go in this open challenge matchup. Marcus
This must
DeAngelo,
be, what,
award-winning
his second,
podcaster,
third match?
initiating a challenge to any professional wrestler from the Altoona area.
What's that, Deuce?
I said, isn't this like his third match or something?
Maybe his 10th, but
10th
yeah,
match?
it's not very many. Not very many
No.
matches.
No.
And not very well. I say 10th, but obviously he does wrestling practice in school and that sort of thing. They do real matches there. But from the standpoint of in front of an audience, in front of a crowd, live event, tickets, I'd say he's no more than 10 to 15 matches total into his career.
Yeah. Yep.
And got him some of Chris LaRusso. Quick arm drag, very nice. Notice how that right hand is sheathed by a fingerless glove. That is Ted DiBiase's glove.
It is a loaded glove. You know he's just waiting to use it.
It was a gift. Chris LaRusso showing you he's got some gifts of his own. What an impressive switch.
Chris is trying to maintain control. Marcus
Whoa!
do anything he can to get out of it.
How about those fundamentals? Well, the court of public opinion has made a verdict.
They sure have, DC.
Look at the moves.
Big guys agile. See,
The ever technical Chris LaRusso.
Boom,
And
boom.
another arm
Multiple
drag.
sequences.
He's going to follow it up with a third. No,
okay, so that quick grab of a arm bar there.
look at
and
that.
there, he needed to
A
position
Mexican
himself
style
in the
arm
corner
drag.
instead of in the
Chris
rope.
LaRusso is one of the most proficient wrestlers, honestly, ever.
Yeah, you know how you say that in Spanish? El arm drag. Yeah. Oh, God.
There you go, Deuce. Now the
Chris LaRusso
commentary's
mowing
not
down
so
Marcus
loud.
DeAngelo.
It's a
Thank
little
you.
on the grating side
Hey,
to me.
leapfrog
But
by Marcus DeAngelo. Going for hip toss. Reverse roll up by Chris
That was a good
LaRusso.
move.
One.
And the ref's a little
Shoulders
slow.
were never down. Chris Willis is right on top of it.
Oh, look at that. A
See, he
body
should have
scissor
wiggled
roll-up.
himself and grabbed the ropes instead of kicked out.
And that gets
Mark.
Chris the 2 count.
Remember, he's a heel,
yeah,
right?
I'm going to Shanghai some of your water.
So that was pretty good. Pause it for a second.
sure.
I mean, they had a great beginning and everything. Just a couple things. cutesy moves out of him, I would have, for him to stop him, I would have expected maybe a little more heel stuff, maybe as a poke in the eye or whatever the fuck, instead of flipping out and whatever. Trying to remember what happened there. Oh, they were doing the arm drags, and they did one arm drag in the corner, another arm drag in the corner, and they went the other one, and they went across from the ropes. And I told Marcus already that when you see yourself not lined up, take a minute and kind of quick position yourself towards the corner, so when you get that arm drag, you don't get thrown into the fucking ropes and get hurt, because that you're gonna hyperextended knee, something's gonna happen. That just, it's a accident waiting to happen. So, and when that happens right there, guys, when he went into those ropes, that's when he should have powdered out. He had to redo himself and then come back in and then You know what I mean?
This powder, as we talked about offline, is very strategic. So pay attention to the next when we hit the play button.
Yes.
So
go ahead.
Oh, okay. Perfect.
Unless you have something.
No, my thoughts are pretty much like yours. Marcus did a really good job bumping. He got up quickly, got thrown quickly. Pretty good action. I think the last arm drag was a little bit sloppy. And it takes two to dance, so I'm not blaming one or the other. It just It wasn't as crisp as the first two.
But it's knowing and position yourself into the correct corner. So he's going to learn that in time. Yeah.
Well, and this would be my other thought, Madusa. Neither one of these guys, no offense to our friend Marcus, are Ricky Steamboat. So when Steamboat used to throw that deep arm drag and he'd twirl his whole body into it, that is a very special kind of athlete with years and years and years of experience.
Yes. Yeah.
And the gentleman doing the arm drag, no offense to him, is no Ricky Steamboat. It's just the way it is. But I think Marcus did a really nice job bumping there, because as you know, and I know, and I've never wrestled, bumping actually will wind you and gas you as fast as anything, because you're up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. And you can blow up very quickly doing the bumping, not being the bumper, or being the bumper, not being the bumpy, however that would work. Yeah. So you know what I'm saying, though. The guy taking all the
bumpy.
So bumper, bumpy. We've made up words here on Trash
Hey,
Talk,
you know what? Those are our t-shirts.
Bumper and bumpy. Yeah.
You're bumpy, I'm bumper.
I'm the bumpy, you're the bumper. That's right.
He never lost it.
That's right. His last attempt here, I'd imagine, was successful.
Chris LaRusso, obviously a very accomplished
I just want to know how he
wrestler,
keeps that thing on his head.
Trainer as well.
It never moves.
Look at the list of talent that he's trained. Right at the very top, you got to put Spencer Slade.
That is correct. I understand he was instrumental in teaching Spencer Slade a lot of the finer points of being a mat technician, showing him a few holds.
Marcus taking his time to get back in the ring. He is finally in, though.
Who's going to go for a little test of strength action in there, Dave? Who do you think's the stronger of the pair?
Man, it's...
That was a nice shot. Yeah.
Blasting him right in the chops.
And we'll never find out.
Look at his fucking punches, though. They were good.
I think
that working punch was really nice.
I think that glove is...
I hate chops, but I'd rather see dudes do it than chicks.
I asked Chris after those chops.
Ooh.
But Chris is firing back with his own chops.
Look at the vitriol with which he's going after Marcus DeAngelo. He did not
see how he went through the ropes and then punched him. That was a good heel move.
Yeah,
I didn't like that too much, but
the seated drop kick.
Throwing and running and kick, it just looked a little messy, but
But I mean, he's on top of a very savvy veteran right now too, so maybe he's earned the right.
There you go. Keep going. Yep.
Now
he's using every angle, everything possible.
Putting his boot right to his throat.
Yep.
Stay on
him.
him.
Handful in there. Chris Willis, that is.
See, he needs to.
I think both Chris's are now in the midst of being overwhelmed.
He fed him perfectly off the ropes.
Gut wrench suplex. 1 and 2.
This guy thinks he's Gordon Soley calling a suplex, but very well executed by Marcus there. Very well executed.
See, he should have stomped on his head or punched him and then ran off the rope.
Oh, God,
keep him
landed
down.
right on his face. He sat right
we
on his
go.
friggin' face.
So the one thing
I
Marcus
would've
does
kicked out
during the
on
match,
two.
as you probably
That
picked up
had
on,
to
is
have injured
he's
Chris
chewing
Russo.
gum the entire time.
Marcus
Yeah.
is a
I mean,
big man,
just in his
but
mouth.
175, 180 pounds right on your face.
Before the matches would start.
He's chewing gum. One of these times, someone's going to have to do a run-in and save him
Marcus
with the Heimlich.
DeAngelo in full control here. Chris LaRusso.
He's been nothing shy of relentless here this evening.
I like
Chris
the heel
LaRusso
tactics.
trying to get back
Foot
on
to the
track.
throat, the stomps,
Marcus
the
isn't letting him
punches.
have it.
All of
Yeah.
it looks pretty good to me.
Ooh.
There he goes.
What a right. Now LaRusso is fighting back, trading right hands.
Oh!
He gets cut
That's
down
good.
by
Now
that back
keep him
elbow.
down. He
What
needs to
a
keep him down still.
impressive comeback by Marcus DeAngelo to throw
Come on,
that
you're
back
stalling.
elbow.
Let's go.
He really put it in there.
The guy should feed
Yes, he
him.
did.
What's wrong
Right
with
on
you?
the button.
Your back hurt?
Something like that.
Oh, your hip. I'm sorry, buddy. I love you. And now
Well,
a
the gentleman,
Cobra
Chris
clutch.
LaRusso, has a lot more
Right in the
experience
center.
than Marcus
$1 million
Wrestling.
dream,
Yeah.
I should say, since
I believe he
then,
was
he's
even
one of
featured
his
in
mentors.
NWA at one point, if I'm not mistaken.
Award-winning podcaster with the $1 million
And this is the guy from
dream.
Altoona.
Oh!
And I think he's very
Head
instrumental
first
in this
to the top
promotion of this
turnbuckle.
Imagine
Maybe a
Wrestling.
desperation
Yeah.
here by Chris LaRusso, but it
I mean,
He's
that
not
was a
one of the
good move
boss.
on
Yeah, Marcus
Chris's.
DeAngelo eating some buckle.
There we go.
Oh!
Yep.
and he just ate an elbow.
Chris LaRusso moving around
That
the
was
ring,
fucking nice.
showing
Now,
you his
he
ring
needed to take a
awareness.
better bump. That was fucking horrible.
Big boot from Chris
Yeah, the
LaRusso.
educated feet.
Boom.
There we go.
Oh!
Clothesline
was
ran him
decent.
right over.
And now he's back
Oh,
up
back
to
elbow. He
feeding
is
and
on
feeding and
fire
feeding
now.
again.
He's showing lots of offense.
Yep. At least he knows how to get up and feed the guy. That's good.
Yep. Well, I mean, that's so fundamental, Medusa, but like we
Chris
said, we
Yeah.
were
picking
saying,
his spots
cardio
now.
is critical to that.
Smart offense
Timing.
by
Oh,
Chris LaRusso.
that was nice. That was so nice.
What a move by LaRusso.
He should have him
as
by
he
the
goes
rope
into
so he can
cover.
put his leg on the rope instead of kicking out.
Was that a fisherman?
He needs to
buster?
do
What do you-
heel as shit.
Swinging net breaker, but he hooked the leg. That was
So stop right here.
It was effective. We'll say.
Okay. Can you back it up, rewind it just a couple seconds?
Probably.
Keep going, keep going, keep going. Oh, okay, stop right here. So when Chris gives him this move, it's up to him when he takes the bump. He can wiggle his way to a rope, knowing that he's going to get covered to put your foot on the rope. 1, 2, 3. Go ahead.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Chris
So,
is picking his
here it
spots
is.
now. Smart offense by Chris LaRusso.
Very good move, too.
See what I mean? He had a chance to fucking roll,
What a
like
move
sell
by
his
LaRusso
back
as
and
he
roll
goes
his way
into
to
the
the
cover.
rope almost enough to put his foot on the rope.
Well, and that one, too, looks like it would warrant it in that should be a close 2 count. You know, that should be the near fall. Because we're winding down toward the end of the match.
Yeah, but
So
he's
I agree
still
with you.
kicking out. A leg on the rope is good for a heel.
No, it was such a good-looking move. I think you're right. Use the rope, don't kick out, because it
Yep.
makes more sense psychologically. And like you said, he's a heel, so he's
Yep.
gonna cheat or win or take the easy way. He's not
Or
gonna
pull
kick
his
out.
hair back.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Yeah. Okay, go ahead.
Was that a fisherman buster? What do you?
Swinging net breaker, but he hooked the leg. That was different.
It was effective. We'll say, huh?
Yeah,
It was
there you
effective. I learned that from a broadcaster. You don't know what to call it?
Call it effective.
Oh!
LaRusso, though, missed on that run-in.
Marcus DeAngelo setting him up at the top. Oh!
Pulls the leg out, driving. LaRusso.
See where he got all of
back
this
of the
super
head,
energy. All of
right
a
in the
sudden,
mat.
Chris should
Yeah,
stop and look.
that was a great
Watch this
combination
here.
for Marcus DeAngelo,
Yeah.
setting him on the top rope, pulling him
Falcon
down by the
arrow.
leg, bouncing his head off the canvas, and now going for a pin.
terrible pin.
Yeah.
The ring veteran.
I mean,
stays
intentional
alive,
or not,
just
that's an
getting that
that's an
arm up.
awful pin.
He should have stopped the match.
The young brash
Was that
Marcus.
a foul?
Yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
rewind it.
Oh shoot,
Oh shit.
that was my bad. I know where we are. Don't worry about it. Go ahead. I'm listening.
Just trying to find out where it was. Right.
Okay, so it's right here.
Combination for Marcus DeAngelo, setting him on
Boom.
the top
So
rope,
instead of
pulling
pinning
down
him
by the
like
leg.
that,
Yeah,
I mean,
go
because
ahead.
the guy still can that ain't. I would have took his arms and had your legs over his arms. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
that's
be
not a
able.
good pinning combination at all. It's very unbelievable, and I mean, I'm
Yeah,
not sure what the psychological aspect of that is. Um, it's not good looking there after a pretty
yeah.
good move. I mean, it's a really good move, you know.
It is, but what I'm saying is either put your legs over his arms and maybe grab a leg at least when you're sitting there, kind of like go to, or just put your legs over his fucking arms, something. But anyway, yeah, okay, minor.
Like a jackknife pin. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bouncing his head off the canvas and now going for a pin.
The ring veteran stays alive, just getting that arm up. The young.
Because if they're supposed to be
Falcon Arrow?
going home,
Yes.
they're stalling too much.
Falcon Arrow.
Impressive Falcon Arrow by Marcus DeAngelo. What's he doing?
He's
What's he
removing
doing?
The covering off the turnbuckle. I think
Why?
the young kid
What's he got then?
getting a little nervous. Oh, he's loading that gun up. Or the
Gun?
glove. The glove.
Loading a gun up. What's going on? Oh,
Swing and a miss.
oh, could this be? Wait, that's the Slade lock. That's the Slade lock.
He taught it to Spencer Slade. Spencer Slade told him to go ahead and use it anytime he needs it, and he wins the match with the Slade lock.
See, that was executed okay.
Yeah. Yeah, so he's in the center of the ring,
The ring
and this is going to be
veteran
about the end of our
was one
video. You're
step
going to see
ahead
Marcus
Yep.
roll out
The
here.
younger Marcus DeAngelo.
Okay.
Definitely. And shut his mouth, didn't he?
So you're gonna see, Marcus roll out. He's gonna submit. He's gonna tap out. I liked the setup where he's trying to cheat,
Yeah. Yep.
but he didn't get it. Didn't get it done. He didn't get it done. So, but it was a good match. It was in Altoona, PA. Nice little independent crowd. Obviously, the crowd was kind of loud. You heard the vocals in there. I turned down the volume. I didn't realize how when I recorded this earlier how loud the volume was. But anyway, I thought the match was fine. Thought it was fun. Good independent match, Madusa. Like you say, these guys need all the
Yes.
reps they can get.
This is just an example of a guy that's had 10 matches. Look at him. It's just a natural that comes to him. That is natural. And plus being on the mic, that is just, there's a lot of people like him that don't get recognition, Again, you're only as good as your partner in that ring. You know what I mean? And sometimes you have to take the lead and help shine. And another key issue is selling, because if you can get your opponent over by selling, it's everything. Oh, it just makes your opponent look, great. So I thought he did well. I love the promo. Again, we're not perfect. He's still learning, and I think he's on to something, and he's going to grow continuously as he does this, and he's going to keep, tweaking, twerking. He probably will twerk.
He
He's
may
gonna
twerk.
tweak.
Yeah, he may twerk.
He's going to tweak everything as we go. Yeah. So it'll be, you saw it here first. So it'll be great to see him down the line and see where he goes. Right, guys? So that'll be, something to look forward to.
Well, and I know you have fans in Pennsylvania. Don't know exactly where all of them are located. Marcus, again, good friend of the show, is located around the Pittsburgh area. He does travel for events and probably will have some bigger opportunities. His match with Victor Benjamin and the other gentleman for the high stakes title was very well received. Maybe we'll convince him to let us watch that one too. Victor Benjamin, very capable hand, Madusa. So it's not like they're putting him with people that may be his equal. They're putting him with very well experienced people to help make him better, which to me is a compliment to Marcus.
Absolutely. And when you're put in those positions, let me tell you, he's probably shitting himself inside, but you never let them see you sweat. And all it's going to do is fast track him to where he needs to go and push him to heights that he couldn't even imagine. Like, you're going to be put in positions like you're going to be like, oh my God, and then you just got to be cool about it and just go out there and do your thing. Right. But yeah, I mean, I every day I still pinch myself like, what the hell was I doing living in Japan for 3 years when I didn't know what the fuck I was doing? My God. I was one lucky SOB for sure.
Well, and in 1989, still a man's world. Still the world of Inoki and Baba.
Oh
Not
God.
necessarily the world of, say, Tanahashi, as you see now,
Yeah. Yeah.
Much different Japan was 30 years ago. Much
Yeah.
different. So.
Yeah, absolutely. So I
But
hope you guys enjoyed it. I did.
And like I said, if you can, please support Marcus and his ventures. He's a really good friend of the show, does all of the graphics, does Madusa's advertising when she lets him, does a social media account. So sometimes those snarky tweets aren't Madusa.
No,
Sometimes they are. So,
it's Marcus. So,
the
but I
really
don't say
snarky
anything because
ones
I
are
sit
cute,
behind.
though.
I don't say
Yeah.
anything because I sit behind and go, "Oh fuck, oh that was good."
The really snarky ones are Deuce, though.
Oh,
I'm just saying. Speaking of snarky, shall we
yes,
be snarky about women's wrestling?
yes. Let's go, go.
Let's be snarky about women's wrestling. So Medusa's fans love my critiques of female wrestlers, as we've learned.
Yeah, don't hold back this time. Don't be a pussy, Uranus. Okay.
So, it's apparently not okay to talk about how beautiful women are in showbiz, even though this is choreographed violence, it's wrestling. Bitch, it's showbiz, okay? So you ain't putting ugly people on camera. So just saying.
Well, I mean, it's kind of like a strip joint. There's like 30, there's like 29 good looking ones and one ugly one. It always is.
Every once in a while, the B team is on. We get it. Did I ever tell you about the only time I ever went to a strip club?
Wait,
Only time.
what? Are you talking
Oh,
about
yeah.
female or male?
Female. So I was the designated driver, which
What?
is a horrible thing to be when you're going to a strip club.
Oh
It
my
was
God.
Northwest Iowa, and I was in college, and the B team was on duty. The good-looking girls had the night off, and one of my friends thought it would be funny to buy me a lap dance, and this stripper was wearing stripper perfume, like legitimately.
Oh God.
Like the shit you take 3 showers and you still can't get it off of you.
Yeah, like that old shit called Giorgio or whatever from Beverly Hills.
Kind of perfume.
Yeah.
I smelled like a strip club for 3 days. Not to mention, found glitter in places you should not ever find glitter. Clothes or no clothes. So, first and only time I've ever been to a strip club, and that is a true story. You never know what you're going to learn from me, Deuce.
Oh my God, a titty bar, huh? There's nothing like a titty bar up in Canada.
Why is that?
Because let me tell you, so when we were in AWA and shit like that, we'd always go to Toronto, and of course the boys would always go to the titty bars. But these titty bars, like they'd always have me go, right? And I'd feel safe going to a titty bar because I would know no dudes would harass me. So I got to have a beer or whatever I was going to do and just sit back and chill and like, oh brother, if I went out. So all of a sudden, I'm looking up at the stage. Oh, I'm sorry, y'all are keeping me up. Oh. Anyway, sorry about that. And I look up at the stage and there's these dancers. And then when they're done dancing, they come out with the fucking electric money finder and they pick up all the coins. Ding, 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 ding. No, there's no dollar. It's all coins because everything is a dollar. Everything is a coin. It's fucking coins. I thought that's the shit that you see people going down on the beach with and trying to find jewelry and fucking money. And I'm like, here they are. They're collecting all their money with this electro thing. I'm like, okay, this is bad. Like, what the fuck? If someone sat there and whipped coins at me, I'd be pissed.
Yeah, that would that would be an experience. Wait, hold on. Let me go put my outfit. Let me put my shorts on and get my change jar.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So stripper, how we got on strippers, I don't know. It was his fucking one night experience there. What did we call you? You were Bimbo and I was Bambo? No.
Nah, I think I was Bumpy and you were Bumper.
That's right. Bumper and Bumpy. Okay,
Bumper
listen,
and
Bumpy.
But
Listen, Bumpy.
this was something. This was something we saw Friday on SmackDown. We got Tiffy time here on the left and the Queen on the right. That's Charlotte, not Cher. And this promo was sponsored by Collagen. So both
Well,
of these
they both
women
look good. Now, I know Tiffy's a lot younger than Charlotte, right?
10, 15 years, yes, because Charlotte is my age. She's 38, if I'm not mistaken.
38. Yep, 39. She's going to be 40 very soon. Yeah.
No. So, because I think she was born in 86, if I'm not mistaken. You know,
Okay.
Flair got the big gold belt and he got the baby girl to go with it. So, in 1986. So the promo Madusa is a sit down, side by side. And it's
I saw it on Instagram, and it reminded me of the Brady Bunch when Charlotte was on top looking down at her, calling, doing the promo. Are you talking about that one?
Well, I'm talking about the one we saw on Friday where, these two women, they don't have good chemistry out loud, in my opinion. In out loud, I don't see the chemistry in the promo. Like Rock Austin, and I know that's high level, that's top shelf. They had really, really, really good chemistry.
Did they have it right at the beginning, right off the bat? No, I really truly believe they had to work at things too to bring it to that level. So not in their defense, but in their defense, the chemistry does seem dry in the promo. It really does. And no fault of their own, but I don't know who's writing it or what, but I think it is. It's the whole. I don't think people. I know she has a huge following, Tiffany, because it's been just Tiffy time down everybody's throat so fast, so quick. People don't like that or respect it, and I think she would be turned into a heel real quick from the fans. And Charlotte would end up being a baby face. You know what I mean? But I don't. The promos are not exciting. I mean, as far as keeping my interest, is it a reason for them to give Tiffy the title? I don't know. To me, that's a heel move. Like, I think that would get more heat on Tiffy because so fast, so quick, that young right there, boom, WrestleMania and fucking a title. I don't know. What do you think?
Well, I think that Charlotte is a heel.
Is a what?
Good, bad, or ugly. I think she is a natural heel. And I think Tiffany is a natural heel.
Yes.
I think people like the way Tiffany looks. I think people like.
Yeah, but Charlotte looks the same way. Blonde hair, both
like Tiffany's moveset.
They both do moonsaults.
Both do moonsaults. But the problem I had with the promo especially is you're following up two live action events. You have Charlotte lay down the challenge, then you have Tiffy do the moonsault, completely miss her, and she hits security or whatever in that pile of people on the moonsault. And then you have this sit down, which could be pre-recorded, and they never cleaned it up. This was not great. And Tiffany's line, WWE Universe no longer bows to the Queen. They run on Tiffy time. That isn't something you say sitting side by side to somebody. To me, that's a live arena line. That's your live arena go home line, is that you're running on Tiffy time now. The other thing is, Madusa, in my opinion, it's very elementary. Running on Tiffy time is very elementary. It's rudimentary.
I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is.
Very superficial is all I'm saying. There's no depth. There's no nuance. We talked about Toni Storm ad nauseum. We're not going to open that can of worms again. But Toni Storm has created a layered character. When you think you've seen all you've seen, she gives you something else and then another thing. And then she turns it around 180 degrees and starts all the way over. I don't know that Tiffany has that capability in her present character.
Not yet. Ben, do you honestly think you've seen that in Charlotte?
So this is my opinion of Charlotte. She is the standard. So she's going to go out there and she's going to do what she's going to do, and you're going to boo or you're going to cheer, and she doesn't care. She does not care. What she has to remind people of, in my opinion, is she's still one of the best female wrestlers in the world, and she hasn't done that yet. The Royal Rumble was not the place for her to remind everybody of that. WrestleMania is. But the question becomes, and you can answer this better than I can, does she have the right person to dance with to show everyone that she is one of the best wrestlers in the world?
No. But then who is it?
Really, then who is
it? The roster. Who is it?
Yeah. She would need an Asuka.
There's nobody elevated to that yet.
No, but she would need an Asuka, an Io, a Naomi, or not a Naomi, excuse me, God, a Bianca, a Rhea, a Becky, even a Bayley to elevate, because Charlotte Flair is best when she's pushed. If you remember the three-way they had with Ronda, Becky, Charlotte at WrestleMania. They did the whole deal, the landing of the helicopter, the blue robe, etc., etc. Charlotte Flair was pushed to be the very best version of Charlotte Flair. Now, granted, that was also 6 years ago, but Ronda Rousey was a real threat to her. Becky Lynch was a real threat to her. These were larger-than-life women. To your point, you don't have that equal, so now you're having Charlotte punch down? And I would say the same thing about Rhea Ripley.
That's exactly how the interview should go. That's how the interview should go. Why am I even having this interview? Why do I need to step over you or step on you? Why am I even here? You're not even to my level. Why are they giving me you? Why? You still have you need to go tell time better, because it isn't your time. That type of thing. You know, she needs to keep pushing her away like they take Io when they fucking, face plant her. That's what she needs to do to Tiffy. Not just go in there, wrestle her, and win the belt and prove she's the best of all time. There needs to be a fucking statement. I don't want to see a goddamn another match or have Tiffy win or have even Charlotte win a title, or another one or keep it or whatever the fuck it is. But I think it just, there needs to be an about face and change here, something drastic, something you would see in a movie script that is just like, what? And then I feel that Charlotte should be called out by somebody nipping at her heels that we haven't heard from in a long time. Not Becky. I'm over Becky and Charlotte as well. And Bayley and fucking all of them. They've all been there. It's almost either you write a really, really good script so it's watchable, believable. But again, the writers are only as good as their fucking team. So the kids are going to have to deliver it the way they write it too. So maybe these two aren't the great actors or actresses to deliver it. Maybe it's going to take somebody to take it out of them instead of those two together. So, and the only way to do this is think of examples. You think of a storyline, you think of real heat, you think of, you turn something that was personable, personable and relate it to your situation and bring it into your character and just spew it out. That's what emotion is, right? You're acting in a part and you think of something or you act upon something that triggers that feeling to bring all of that out. So, what would I do? I think the only shocker, and people would be pissed and it would get the internet swarming. And I think it would be something people would be like, holy fuck. Now, I don't think, I mean, I love Nikki Bella, but I don't think Nikki Bella coming in would save the day, right? On this situation. But I do still think, hear me out, that if a Ronda Rousey showed up, I'm just saying, I know it probably won't, but if Ronda Rousey fucking showed up during their match, right before it was ready to take off, and you hear her music, hits her music, and they're like, what the fuck? She's already established. She's already a known name, and she's there to upset them both. She comes in and just annihilates Tiff. Just sends her fucking packing with her goddamn clock. Go tell time, bitch. And then just looks at Charlotte, points her finger. We're not finished. And like, you need that. I'm not saying that that's going to happen. I'm just saying, did y'all feel that? Like, it's like that's what needs to something happen for Charlotte, so we can kill this fucking Tiffy and Charlotte thing and revisit it later or something. I don't know. That's how I feel.
Sounds like your position is that it's just not time. No pun intended. That it is not time for this match. That they need something a little better.
We need shock value right now.
You mentioned Ronda. They have Shayna Baszler on the.
Yeah, that's right.
And this, hear me out. Shayna Baszler.
But see, she's believable. She would come in there and fucking kill somebody.
Well, she hasn't been used well, but when she was the NXT champion, the black and gold women's champion, she was dominant in her performance. And of course, she's the one who put Ronda out in that god-awful match that they had.
Horrible. Yeah.
Where they did the shoot fight, whatever. But I agree with you. Ronda was big name, box office, and again, somebody who could push Charlotte. I don't know what Shayna Baszler did to get in the doghouse, because she was always one of Triple H's girls, but they have not used her well, or she's not been featured well. Let me put it that way, because this was a woman who held the NXT women's title for 400 days, whatever it was, because she, they did the same thing with Asuka. And then Asuka hasn't necessarily been used well either. Now, I know she's injured right now. But these are women that are fantastic professional wrestlers in their own right, because they bring that element automatically, Madusa, of credibility.
I know, I understand that, but I don't know if I could stomach Asuka and Charlotte again. I need something new still. And to me, Ronda's still new. It is what it is. That's what would get me to go, oh fuck. If they hit her music right before their match, Tiffy would shit herself in that white little outfit.
Well, it would be incredible too, because Ronda Rousey has been very, very outspoken on the WWE. She's been very outspoken about what she thinks, about things that may or may not have happened, about statements she made after the Vince allegations and all of that sort of thing. And I'm not saying any of that's true or false. What I'm saying is she's been pretty oppositional to the WWE. She's been, and that's her right to be that way. Also, she was the baddest woman on the planet, and that wasn't just, they did the Mike Tyson thing with her, but UFC did it first. The other question I wonder with Ronda is, did she burn the bridge with Endeavor? Did she burn the bridge with TKO?
Yeah.
Because if you burn the bridge with TKO, they truly own WWE. One of the reasons I don't think you've seen Brock Lesnar is I believe Lesnar's nuclear with the Vince stuff, but he also did not end his tenure with UFC in a very good way. And all I'm getting at is, now that they're a partnered, mergered, owned by, you're not going to TKO's not going to run to North Dakota or Canada at this point to go get Brock Lesnar off of the farm.
I understand that, and it's too bad that they couldn't just do one-offs each time to see how they go to partner again to, make business. I mean, Christ, Vince did it after, blackballing me for what, 15, 20 years? Finally get asked back. Yeah, miracles happen, right?
Yeah, well, you always say Vince was good to you, but
He was, except for letting me go with the title.
With the title, then put it in the trash. That was Bischoff's idea. Just ask him; he'll tell you.
Yeah.
Can't help it.
Yeah.
I can't help it. Eric makes it way too easy to pick on him, so I can't.
I know. He
it
says he remembers, and then he says he never said that. I'm like, okay, I'm confused.
One other thing before we jump to the other ladies, it's because I brought up Eric Bischoff. AEW is about to celebrate a milestone, in their opinion. And that's they have put more episodes of Dynamite, their flagship show, out than Nitro, the WCW flagship show. And Tony Khan, the only reason this is even relevant, and it's relevant for Trash Talk, is Tony Khan is doing his victory lap that AEW outlasted WCW, Nitro, rather. Nitro outlasted, or Dynamite outlasted Nitro. Because WCW was really an entity all the way back in 1989. Nitro started in 95, or 88. Yeah, 88. Anyway. So, do you have any thoughts on this milestone? Does it matter? Is this a pound the chest? Is this a F you, Eric? Your thoughts, man.
Well, I think that Eric may have said a few things in the past that were negative towards AEW, and I don't know why. He has his own reasoning or thoughts or whatever. Okay, so I mean, it's none of my business. So he ran WCW, but when we're talking another organization of today's time surpassing his pinnacle, so I think it's great. I think it does, it's good for a good beat on the chest and look what I'm doing. And it's my own family money and I don't have to run off a corporate and, you had to run and find something else and I get to stay here because it's mine type of thing. I think Tony has a lot to be thankful for. And who cares if it's his daddy helping him? I think Tony runs enough shit or has his hands in a lot of stuff that, I mean, it's equally, it's his. And I kudos to Tony, really. I think I think he has a lot of passion with the business. I know he's fucking informative as hell. I mean, this guy knows so much about the business. He's a great wrestling fan himself. And I think it's good. Good for him. He's doing what Eric couldn't do.
Yeah, so Eric has always blamed corporate Turner. The irony is that Tony's on Turner's network. Some of Eric Bischoff's problem, I think, was Eric Bischoff, but that's a whole nother conversation. Anywho,
you see more of Eric Bischoff on television than you do Tony Khan, though.
Yes, very much so. Okay. Tony Khan apparently has learned he is not a TV star. Thank God. Right. That little nerd.
But that's the difference between him and fucking
Bischoff?
Russo. Bischoff.
But here's the real thing, Deuce. We were talking off air about, Gail Kim and whatnot and TNA and all that. Yeah. TNA has been in existence since June of 2002. Started by the Jarretts, Jerry and Jeff.
Yeah, but that's across so many different ownership.
Yeah, but in some way, shape, or form, TNA has been in existence since 2002. So before we break out the Rose Bowl parade for AEW
and WCW,
and WCW, TNA's been out there 23 years by hook or crook. Because let's face it, they got, other than when they had Spike for those couple of years, TNA has never been on a good television platform. They've never had a good marketing that way. They used to do the weekly pay-per-view gimmick where you had to pay $10 to see the show.
What about NWA though?
NWA was good till COVID.
Yeah.
And then AEW raided their talent roster. Camille, Thunder Rosa, Ricky Starks, Eddie Kingston. What's his face? Nick Aldis is at the WWE right now. Mickey James is gone. So when you start losing primetime players, what you have left is the B team talent. No offense to the B team talent, but they're the B team talent for a reason. And that's all you have.
Natty Neidhart is showing up at the NWA for the Crockett Cup this year.
Yeah, but the NWA hasn't been the NWA since 1988.
Oh,
I'm that guy. I am that guy that does not believe in the National Wrestling Organizations. When Turner got involved and became WCW, the NWA effectively died. And maybe for the better, because it was a bunch of white old dudes in smoke-filled rooms negotiating who was going to be the world champion.
Circle jerking motherfuckers. Anyway, so okay. On that note, let's go to Rhea and Io and Bianca.
Rhea, Io, and Bianca, in what I like to refer to, Madusa, the only way you can refer to this is a clusterfuck. This is 100% a clusterfuck of creativity. My man here, Fernando's here, but Steven is also here. Y'all came to hear me and Madusa potty mouth the world. I don't know what they're doing with the women's division in WWE, but I'm finding AEW to be far more enjoyable. And that is a problem for me because I really just don't like AEW that much. But
okay, wait a minute now. Okay, so the whole Charlotte and Tiffy thing, I'll pass on. I have no interest in it. Though big supporters of them and I want them to do well, whatever, but I'm just not the whole angle. No interest. But the Rhea, Io, and Bianca, I mean, I thought you didn't like this last one. The setup of when, Rhea and Bianca kept, face slapping Io was very discrediting and very kind of iffy, right? But remember, we're in a business or we're making an angle, we're doing whatever. Finally, on this last one, show that picture again. It kind of woke, this is what I say. It kind of woke full circle a sleeping giant, per se, in Io. As it did to us when we retaliated. However, she's retaliating on these two when this shit hit the fan. And I'm glad, I'm glad it happened. She needs a little bit more of this, instead of just about these two, right? The whole angle, I see they're trying to build it up hard and quick. And whatever the outcome is, I'm sure you have an idea of an outcome of what you want. But I think now she did challenge, so it is Rhea and Bianca. Is that right?
No, ma'am.
No.
So Adam Pearce got bullied into making a match next week.
Yeah.
Io Sky versus Rhea Ripley with Bianca Belair as your special referee.
Okay, that's right. Yeah. Okay.
So all I'm saying is this has clusterfuck written all over it. I mean,
really, what could go wrong?
Yeah, exactly. It's about like next week on SmackDown, we're going to have the official contract signing between CM Punk, Seth Rollins, and Roman Reigns with the wise man there. What could possibly
Because he owes Punk a favor.
But in a contract signing Madusa situation, what could possibly go wrong in professional wrestling?
That Paul takes that pen and stabs Roman Reigns through the hand with the pen so it's stuck in the table.
He won't ever do it. Ma'am, if I may, ma'am.
If I may.
If I may, ma'am. So that's the thing, like Paul, but my point is, like, we know these are red flags to anybody that's watched wrestling. This is a way to get to a three-way, in my opinion. Bianca, Rhea, Io. I don't think they should have ever taken the belt off of Rhea if this is what you were going to do. Because, again, my opinion is Io deserves better than this. But they've got to get Bianca to transition to the heel, to be the one that was behind the Jade attack the whole time. And you're going to see, in my opinion, this is the way it goes.
Jade come out.
Jade is not going to come out. Naomi is. And Naomi is going to help Bianca win the world title at WrestleMania. They're going to celebrate. They're going to come out the next night. It was all a ruse. Night after WrestleMania is your biggest reset night, and you're off to the races with Jade versus Bianca. That's what I would do. Because Bianca is no longer a babyface. Again, my opinion.
Well, Naomi's killing it.
She's a far better heel than she is a babyface, but she's still not my favorite. I don't like her in-ring work, but it's just a preference. That's all.
Yeah, I like her better this way, definitely.
So you like her better as a heel?
Yes. Okay. Naomi, yeah. She did this well. And I think she's going to start, you're going to see even more and more. I think she's going to come into her own really quick because it escalated really well. I love the transition. Especially like, I was hanging out with her at the premiere at the hotel, and she's a totally different person than what you see on TV, right? So, I mean, beautiful human, great soul, but let me tell you, that character you saw on television is nothing yet you would have seen at the hotel. Fucking amazing. So I was like, damn, she pulled this off. I'm really happy for her because she never really got a big run, did she, by herself?
Mm-mm. Very minimal. Very minimal.
Yeah, very
the
minimal.
The other thing is you can't be in part of the Anoa'i family and not get it. She is married to Jimmy Uso. Her father-in-law is Rikishi. You can just start running down the lineage of the Anoa'i family.
Right.
Or Anoa'i family. Excuse me. I say it wrong every time the first time. Anyway, you can run it down on the Samoan dynasty all you want. The woman, if she's paying attention, is going to get it. Because that's all those people know.
Yeah, she's going to do well. I just want to see, I'm trying to think about this. I want to see Io come on top of all of this shit.
I do too. I really, really enjoy Io Sky. She had a great run as the world champion as part of Damage Control. She is believable. And as you've said, in a shoot fight, she could hold her own.
She'd kill them both. Yeah.
Yeah. Except maybe Asuka. Asuka be the baddest of them all.
Yeah.
But, she came out last night. Yeah, yesterday afternoon, whatever.
Yeah.
Somebody correct me because it was, excuse me, sir. It was 4 p.m. in Europe.
Okay, 4 p.m. in Europe.
4 p.m. in Europe. We're here. Okay. So anyway, she comes out and she's trying to talk, but she's still got the very heavy Japanese accent. Not picking on that, not a xenophobe. The idea being, we were talking that maybe a mouthpiece would be good for her, but who the hell do you put with her? With Io Shirai. But like you've also said, or Io Sky. You've also said, Madusa, that she can do exactly what Asuka said. Nobody's ready for Asuka. And that's it. That's the line. You're not ready for Asuka. Move on. Io could come up with something like that, and it worked for her. I think it could go to a single, but more than likely we're seeing a triple threat setup here. But it's the second triple threat we're going to see.
It's going to be so calculated. I thought the match was calculated.
You mean the angle? Like the whole setup? Yes. Yeah. And, Rhea coming out in red, that's a great color for her. Seriously. Great color for her. Because, most of the time we see her in black. So before
did you see what they did when they flipped Io over the top ropes onto Rhea?
Yeah.
That there, to me, I thought that was kind of a good little angle, but it was just so calculated. And I know they can be I know it just felt so contrived, like not contrived, but just, it's like I knew it was happening already.
Mm-hmm. So the word I think you're using for is formulaic.
Very formulated.
Very formulaic. And that's what we're going to see from the contract signing. Now, granted, you got Punk, who's great on the mic. Rollins can hold his own. Let's face it, you got the GOAT in the ring and Paul Heyman. Excuse me, ma'am. And Roman has come into his own as a promo. That's going to be fantastic. You don't get that with these three women, though. You're not going to have that same level of ability.
And Miss Io goes batshit crazy. Like all of a sudden, she just jumps up on the table. She's standing there and just go, no, 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 no. And you, no, 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 no. And kicks the fucking contract right off the table or something. Like, what the fuck? And she can bend down when they're both sitting there to sign it. And she can take one face plant and fucking push her back, have her fall over backwards on the chair, turn around and do it to the other. I just want to see her get one up. Just something with strength. The people would fucking pop. You know what I mean? And then those two would get up off the chair and come running. And Io, jumps up and those two hit each other and she's down there and those two are already at it.
Well, I really like the idea of them positioning her as an underdog. I don't like the way they're getting there because obviously if you're matching strength for strength, very few women in the world are pound for pound as strong as Bianca Belair. No woman in the world right now has the look of Rhea Ripley. And then you've got Io, to your point, Madusa, who pulls her punches, who pulls her kicks, who could really hurt somebody if she chose to. Just a completely different animal altogether.
I hope they do something with that. That's all I got to say. All right. So there's that.
So that's the wrestling for today. And now for something entirely different.
Yeah. Something that since 1963, when
November
the fucking world went upside down and because I was born, we had a president, JFK. And he was regarded as one of the best presidents, and he was a Democrat, and people didn't care. He was out for the people. And of course, the majority of people loved him and what he stood for. However, there was a lot of people that did not like him because of his belief in working for the people. How do I say? Like when there was big players involved, and our government is a big player, the CIA, FBI, whatever, when they hold more power than the actual president, and him uncovering a lot of that was the beginning of his presidency. It was involved and entangled from scandalous stuff and his wrong judgment of women, his affairs with, like Marilyn Monroe. However, then it escalated to what the world really loved about him, and it was his choices, for the people. And it was the fight against Cuba. It was knowing what was going on and actually calling out the truth to the public. And they knew they had to stop him. So how many years later, 50 years later, the JFK Files finally released?
So John Kennedy, JFK, was killed November the 22nd, 1963. Officially, Lee Harvey Oswald shot him from the book suppository in Daly Square. Bolt action rifle, long rifle, 3 bullets, 3 shots, killed him. And of course, a lot's been made of this over the years. Now, to answer your question, Madusa, mathematically, we are 63 years or 62 years removed since John F. Kennedy died. So we are going to frame this conversation in a couple of different ways. First, everybody who had anything to do with John Kennedy's death is now dead. We are going to stipulate that out the gate.
So that's why they felt like it was comfortable to come out with them.
Makes you wonder if that's not part of the deal. And I don't say that to be a conspiracy theorist. I do have fresh tinfoil in the kitchen, though, that I bought today, the bulk size, for this particular conversation. But what repercussions does anybody have?
Well, again, you have a lineage of, Robert or F. Kennedy that works in Maha, right? I mean, that his brother, his dad's brother,
his dad, Joe Kennedy, was tied to the mob, Prohibition, 1930s, Irish Catholic, Chicago, the Daily Machine, all of which helped Kennedy win over Nixon in 60. Then you have his brother who decides he's going after the mafia and is assassinated in 1968.
Yeah,
and of course,
Bobby, right?
Bobby Kennedy. And of course, he's killed in 1963. Now, Trump, good, bad, or ugly, not starting a political conversation here about the man, decided that he was going to release these files. But if you remember correctly, Madusa, one of the promises of Trump, as well as Kash Patel, his new FBI and ATF director, is they were also going to release the Epstein files. The Epstein files have not been released.
I don't know why, but I'm just going to, common sense is Epstein files are going to be released, whatever it is. But I feel that there is so much involved that they bit off more than they could chew. And they're not releasing it for the sake of protecting, we can say kids and all of that, but it's protecting the circumstance, because if they say too much or give out too much, once they do and things come out, there's going to be a lot of fucking people suing people, right? So anything that is used can be used against in a court. You know what I'm saying? Yep. So I think that if they strategically do it in a chess game, which Donald J. Trump is good at playing fucking chess, that's what they're doing. We're going to get it sooner or later. Yeah, it's kind of pissy to put it out there. We're going to have this today and tomorrow. But I think what happened is they threw up in their own fucking mouth and realized we got to backpedal here a little bit and let's get our shit together and, protect what we have, if anything. Here's another thing. I don't think people, oh, fuck me running. I don't think
the camera.
Yeah, I don't think people are going to be ready for the truth.
Nope.
And I think you're just like the JFK Files. If you haven't seen it or gone through, there's 70,000. Now, I haven't gone through all the 70,000, but I've gone through a lot that it's going to make your fucking head spin. Like, you're going to finally realize that, yes, the government does this and they still do this shit to this day. And so it makes you think, it's going to make you think, maybe about this shit about COVID, maybe about oh my God, people, holy shit. You're going to question a lot of things. That's all it's going to make you do. Right. So
I already have a very large distrust for the government, but this is what I'll say on the Epstein thing and we'll move on.
Yeah.
I personally believe that they found too much.
Yes.
And they don't know how to handle it.
Well,
and what I mean by that, there's too many well-connected people, entities, presidents, royal families, etc., in the biggest underground sex trafficking ring in the history
and
of
how
the
do you
world.
take them all down without taking out the world and having a fucking third world war?
Correct.
And I don't know if that's the answer, but I'm just going to go by how things are being handled. And if it's different, if it's wrong, okay. But also I think on the whole, the laptop of Biden's son, the shit that they found out and everybody that was dead after, and how people are just all of a sudden committing suicide. The bullshit that they found out about the whole Podesta, you guys, it's so interlinked, so intertwined, all of that with the Epstein, it's fucking crazy. Yeah. And remember all of these child TV stars that were interlinked with Disney, and all of this stuff. You've got the Biebers, you've got the, what's her name? The blonde, Britney Spears. You've got a lot of these child actors that were just gone crazy. People call Kanye batshit crazy, but I'm telling you, it's because when someone spews the shit of the truth, that fucking They suppress him, they drug them, and then they tell the world he's crazy and they put him away for them to stop fucking talking. It's insane. So anyway, another big circle back. We're talking about the JFK files. So I think everything is, I think everything is intertwined. And I'm not saying just that, how things work and how the government, when I say government, how entities are, how they hide shit. Don't think that Donald J. Trump is your fucking savior, but I do think that he has opened up Pandora's box. You know what I mean? Like,
well, and one of the interesting things is, you're right, they've released 80,000 pages of documents. A lot of it's still redacted.
Well, some of it too, that did get released. If y'all been through half of it, it kind of, to me, and I said this to my husband, I said, even though half his family are Jewish or that have converted, a lot of them are Catholic still or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
They were supposed to release all of it unredacted, but a lot of it is, right? It's all blacked out. However, when you get deep enough, and funny you haven't gone through it all yet, when you do, you're going to see that they were mistakenly, oopsie, this was supposed to be redacted and it wasn't. So that to me is like Trump doing what Trump does best. And I'm telling you, it all had to do with a lot of the Israeli bullshit. It's just so much info. It's just like, are you kidding me? So until we have everything, or we're going to put up pictures of each one so y'all can see it and read it, this ain't coming from us. This is stuff we're just going to talk about that was coming out. So I think it was nonchalantly put out there like an oopsie, but he really knew what he was doing when it was supposed to be redacted. So it's not like, hey, I'm letting you know, even though I'm batting for this side. You know what I mean? That type of thing. I think it's almost like a fucking wrestler play. It's almost like a fucking swerve. And damn, it was pretty good. So
well, and here's the deal that you and I know, and anybody you know that pays attention to global politics knows. Israel is fundamentally God's chosen people. That's what they believe. They believe the state of Israel
we're told.
Dates back to the days of the Bible and beyond, and that the political state of Israel that the United States and the Socialist Soviet republics created in 1948 is not the same thing. The state of Israel is God's holy land for these people. So they will do anything they have to protect the state of Israel. Every person in the state of Israel serves in the military. Every person for at least 2 years. It's automatic. The other thing is, this is the same state that after Berlin and the Olympic team was killed, they hunted down every person involved in that over a period of 15 years at the direction of the prime minister. They have the best intelligence organization in the world. They have the best fighting
force. Where do they get all their money from?
Us. It's the United States. You can go check. It's public record. You can check how much we send them every year.
Yes.
But the state
people
of Israel,
want to know, why do we give them so much?
Well, my point is if that for some reason the state of Israel is involved in the assassination of John F. Kennedy, they did so in the interest of the state of Israel, not the political state. The state of Israel, God's chosen people, because it is a fundamental belief of all of them that live in that country.
Yeah, so I really want to dive into that. There's a page in there that it says, oh my God, my mouth fucking dropped to the floor. I'm like, oh my God. Mm-hmm. So I would love to talk to you about it before we air, about when we get to that subject, and just see what you think. Because it is very heavily weighing on that.
Very much so. And again, these are people that are going to do anything they can to survive. They saw 6 million of their own people go to the gas chambers at the hands of Hitler. They also saw as many, if not more, die at the hands of Stalin on the Eastern Front. People don't talk about the Eastern Front during the Second World War.
I just got chills. Yeah, but they're talking about the Kennedy that's a lot about the Second War in this too.
Yep.
And
Yep.
Cuba. Oh my God.
The U-boats, Cuba, Castro, the revolution, the fact that Castro's very first order of business was to take out the intelligentsia. Anybody that was educated and middle class, he took them out one way or another.
Why do you think he was going to have all them ships off of Florida and he wanted to bomb them, right? Wasn't that it? I'm getting way ahead of myself, but I think.
Yeah. I mean, you talk about Cuba. We're just setting the framework, and there's so much that has been said. Oswald killed Kennedy. Ruby killed Oswald. The Warren Commission states that Oswald acted alone. Warren Commission, for those of you who don't know, was headed up by Chief Justice Warren, who would become one of the most judicially active liberal justices in the history of the United States of America, who would also be the reason that we have Griswold versus Connecticut, Board of Education in Topeka, Kansas. All of the civil rights laws came under the Warren administration. They exonerate everybody and say that it was Lee Harvey Oswald who acted alone, with no assistance from anybody. The Warren Commission ignored witness testimony, overlooked physical evidence, ignored the fact things got disappeared, but because we could put an official stamp of approval on it from the United States government and the Supreme Court Chief Justice, who Warren was, it was passed through.
Wait till we get into it. Fernando? Yes, I agree.
Warren hearings are BS. So, yeah, I mean, the Warren Commission was put together to put this to sleep, in the opinion of a lot of people, to put this to bed very quickly, because they determined in 1964 that Lee Harvey Oswald acted alone. So let me ask you this question, Madusa, just to frame our conversation. If Lee Harvey Oswald killed John Kennedy in 1963, why did Jack Ruby, a low-level mobster, kill Lee Harvey Oswald? Thank you. Right there. Thank you.
But see, people didn't think that way back then. They were fed. They were fed that.
But the other thing is, and you don't remember this because you're not old enough, but my grandmother told me this story before. I mean, she's been passed away 15 years now, but she was a Kennedy person, and she had her hair done like Jackie Kennedy. She wore the hats, the dresses, the pearls, the whole deal. She loved Jackie Kennedy, but she told us of how they saw Jack Ruby kill Lee Harvey Oswald on television. It was walking him right into the jail, into the courthouse.
Yes.
He was shot on cable TV.
Yes.
Because this man's being arraigned for killing the president of the United States.
Yes.
And before
that was framed too.
They murdered him right there on television for everybody.
That was framed.
Yeah. So that's
all a fucking act.
And then Jack Ruby, of course, dies in prison. So my question is, why does Jack Ruby, a low-level affiliate of the mafia, care about John Kennedy enough that he kills Lee Harvey Oswald? His patriotism wasn't that overflowing that he thought Oswald was some sort of Russian agent working for Cuba. Some compatriot.
Because he was told something, promised something, and since he was with the mafia, he was working up his ranks, and they knew what they were putting him into. You know what I mean? It was.
Yeah, I mean, it's so there's a lot there that I can get real passionate about real fast. But John F. Kennedy, the man, the president of the United States, very well liked.
There he is.
One of the youngest presidents in the history of the country. I believe it's him, Teddy Roosevelt, and Obama.
Wasn't he from that accent is from Maryland? Where's that from? Massachusetts. That accent was strong too.
As Madusa said, he was a U-boat captain, or not a U-boat. Yeah, U-boat captain. His boat got blown up during the Second World War. Kennedy, and I'm going to say this out loud, and you can argue with me, Madusa. You talked about, what people think, the respect for him, et cetera, et cetera. John F. Kennedy is remembered far more fondly today, in my opinion, because he was assassinated. Because he
Absolutely.
died an untimely death, people think far more of him than what they do.
Well,
The
because
other
there's
thing,
such a crutch, there's such a mystery behind it. People knew and know that there was the one guy that was a CIA agent that worked with it, that was told and was part of the plan, the CIA, to assassinate him. And he left that day so fucked up. There's a sheet on it. We're going to show that. We're going to get to that. But he left and told his friends about, this is what went down. I needed to tell somebody. I can't think of his name. It's a prominent name if we had that paper. But and then he died right after that. They kill
suddenly,
anybody in the way that have done, that was a part of, or part of the truth. And I mean, again, that's when that whole thing started unraveling, and it's, the whole CIA stuff. So this is just weird how, you could fast forward to the whole Trump administration and how, he wants to dismantle the CIA, dismantle the FBI, and form it. And, a lot of them were started for a certain reason at a certain time, which I kind of can remember, and what it was privy and what it was for when it was good. And I believe there are really good people working for those, acronyms of places, but it's so out of hand and so deep of shit that it does need to be dismantled probably and rebuilt.
yes. So the CIA was developed as a counterintelligence agency to the other agencies in the world, equivalent to the Mossad, the MI6, the Soviet KGB, that sort of thing. But to your point, you have the FBI, the CIA, the NSA, the ATF. I mean,
Yes.
on and on and on and on. And so Trump is talking about restructuring these things. The other thing is the CIA. Let's keep this clear. Not the FBI. The CIA was a foreign operator, or supposed to be.
Weren't
They're
they?
not. They were not supposed to operate against domestic enemies. They were designed to operate against foreign enemies.
Right.
The FBI, on the other hand, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, was to investigate internal threats to the country. The CIA was external. However, we all know it's not the way this works. It's absolutely not the way this works. In fact, J.
No.
Edgar Hoover, the
That's
FBI,
how Israel got involved with the CIA, because they were planting their people in. It's
correct.
messed up.
Correct. Because the best spy counterintelligence defense agency in the world is still Mossad.
Holy shit.
Mossad,
Really?
yeah, Mossad is still the greatest counterintelligence and intelligence agency in the world. They carry out assassinations. They spy on everybody. They have files inches thick on anybody that you could imagine. And that is why Israel is so successful. And that is why their intelligence is very seldom wrong. Mossad is far superior to that of the United States, or to China,
That's
or to
scary
North
as
Korea,
fuck,
or to
man.
Russia. And that is Israel. That's who we're talking about. But
Yep.
I don't want to get too far down that path. But my point is that the CIA was invented to help detour communism and all this other
Yeah.
crap. We're
Yeah.
going to train guerrillas in Cuba as an example. And we're going to have this little Bay of Pigs debacle. That was the CIA. We're going to, even better, open up camps in the 1980s to train this group called the Mujahideen how to use Stinger missiles. And then the most radical elements of that group are going to become what we later call Al-Qaeda.
Al-Qaeda.
Which uses Afghanistan to launch 9/11.
Yes.
But yeah, I mean, the CIA is a great
Which the Bushes were very well and knew, and I feel that's a whole nother fucking thing.
Yeah, because
that
in 1991, Osama bin Laden is banned from Saudi Arabia for speaking out against allowing the American dogs to use Saudi Arabia as Air Force Base. But you know what the Saudi government was kind enough to do? They gave him all his fucking wealth, which he would use to build the terrorist network we know as Al-Qaeda.
Which now we're building wealth with Saudi Arabia with WWE. And they just signed a 5-year deal, which comes to billions of dollars.
So, yeah. So Saudi Arabia is not our friends, by the way, but that's another conversation. Anyway.
When it comes to the cash cow, it is.
Yeah, you can get me all sidetracked here. But no, so the CIA, obviously the Bay of Pigs in Cuba, is a result of Castro. Then we get to the Cuban Missile Crisis, where for 13 days, everybody's favorite president is using medical-grade methamphetamine to stay awake so that he can make decisions.
They fed everybody.
To save the country. Yeah. Methamphetamine wasn't just made in your bathtubs, ladies and gentlemen. The government was making it in the 1960s and feeding it to the president and the entire cabinet during the Cuban Missile Crisis. And if it wasn't for Bobby Kennedy coming up with the blockade, we may have indeed had war with Russia. So, but that sets the chess pieces for the Kennedy assassination.
Yes.
Because you already have Bay of Pigs. You already have the Cuban Missile Crisis. Madusa, how far of a stretch is it to say the Cubans Castro killed Kennedy? How far of a stretch is that when this is a revenge tour by Castro and his Cuban allies?
Yes.
It's not a stretch. And in the 1960s, without the internet and instant information and everything else, it's not a stretch to sell Cuba killed John F. Kennedy.
That was part of the plan. I mean, that's a swerve like they do now with certain things. They'll have fucking shit going on over here, so we look here, so we don't know what's really going on there. So they just didn't want us to look towards probably Israel and the CIA, so they had to do that. Yes. Now, put that picture up of JFK again.
The presidential one?
Yeah.
Where he's looking all whatever it is. Whatever that word people say.
Demure.
That's it. Demure. Yeah.
Very nice. Now show the picture of him and Jackie.
Him and Jackie, I got 2 of them, but this is the black and white.
Yeah. That is just.
So this is my grandma. The haircut to the chin, the hat, the jacket.
Really?
Yeah, I swear to God. She thought Jackie Kennedy was the shit back in the 1960s.
But everybody loved her demeanor. So she was proper. She was elegant. She spoke eloquently. And she dressed to the nines, which back then was a very good look. So I feel that somebody that emulates her is definitely the First Lady today. And I think she has a lot of style. I do. But I don't know how these two met, or if it was a planned or kind of like that bloodline royalty type of thing that they got together. I'll have to dig when we come back and we kind of start off that way, and we kind of just tiptoe through that and then get into the first part. But anyway, that's what we're going to be talking about, people. So I just wanted to put it out there. Get educated, go to the JFK Files, start reading upon it. We'd love to hear your thought and questions. A lot bounce off of each other. That's all this talk group is. It's just bouncing off our thoughts and why and who, it's so blatant nowadays. Like, since this is out here, it's just like it was right there in front of our fucking face. And again, they were polluting us with such other bullshit to the left and right, to look here, to look there, except to look what was straight in front of us.
Well, and
that's what's happening right now.
Well, and there's the limousine right there.
Who's that guy right there? No, fuck that guy. Anyway, who's that guy right there?
Isn't that the Secret Service?
Yeah, but the guy driving, we're going to be talking about a lot.
Is that the mayor? Is that the Dallas mayor?
Maybe.
I forget. But there's LBJ. So, background information, since I'm the history guy here. Lyndon Baines Johnson was selected by John F. Kennedy to be his running mate and vice president when Johnson was the Senate Majority Leader of Texas. The ultimate reason was Kennedy wanted him on his side in the White House and not on the Senate floor, where he could be an ample pain in his ass. So they bring in Johnson. You get some Southern votes. It offsets the Northeast. Of course, we still have the good old boy from the South. So racism acceptable. It's 1960. You know, you can get away with doing and saying things that are absolutely reprehensible. And that's the pair. Nixon debates Kennedy with the fever. Looks like shit. Kennedy wins popular vote by roughly 100,000 people. About that many allegedly have voted dead in Chicago. So that's that. But Kennedy and Jackie, obviously quite the pair. The other players involved, of course, there's LBJ being sworn in. That's Lady Bird Johnson, his wife. And then there's Lee Harvey Oswald. Yeah. There's Lee Harvey and Jack Ruby. And of course, many of you may know this popular movie by Oliver Stone, JFK, 1991.
You guys take a watch on that too.
Yeah, that one's got a lot of different elements to it, from Clay Bertrand, CIA agents, and a star-studded cast. I mean, it has got everybody in it, and it's Oliver Stone who wrote the story.
But I feel that they were stifled too. I think, it seems like Hollywood knows a lot, and they're only allowed to say so much to exploit,
Well, and the well-connected and the wealthy and the well-connected in this country have far more power than any of us are ever really aware of. And that is, again, my personal opinion, why the Epstein files have been stopped. I think there probably is a little too much in there. The Kennedy files, everybody's dead. Like, if you were, let's just say you were the leader of Mossad, who talked to the leader of the CIA, who orchestrated the whole thing and had Kennedy shot, all of you are dead. You're all dead. Yeah. 63 years later, you're all dead. There isn't one of you that's alive. What are they going to do? Spank you and take away your birthday? Is the United States going to divorce Israel? Fuck no. Their relationship is so close, so tight, so interwoven. They're not ever getting rid of Israel.
And that's what a lot of the problem is today. People are waking up and protesting about that. They just want them to stop funding them, Yeah.
Which would be a mistake in my opinion. But again, a whole nother conversation.
Yeah, that's a whole
whole nother deal. But the thing with, like you say, with Kennedy, I mean, he's young, he's vibrant, he represents the hope of America, gives a fantastic speech, captivates the audience, is a good-looking person. All of these things matter publicly and perceptionally, and behind the scenes, he's stepping out on his wife. He's sleeping with Marilyn Monroe. He's doing all of those kinds of things. And all of that we know is true. That's not me disparaging the man. That's all facts. But then you have the Cuban Missile Crisis, the Bay of Pigs. You've got the escalation of the Vietnam War. Would Kennedy have escalated the war?
Yeah.
Would Kennedy have escalated the Vietnam War? It's an interesting question, because in 1961...
He didn't want... He didn't know.
In 1961, when Dwight D. Eisenhower left office, he gave his farewell address, and he warned of the coming of the military-industrial complex, the marriage between nationalism and the military, and in the industrialization of the world and the Cold War. That was Dwight David Eisenhower, 5-star general, President of the United States. Kennedy allows the CIA, again, the fucking CIA, to operate in small doses in Vietnam, as they had been when the French were defeated at Dien Bien Phu in 1954. We essentially inserted the CIA into that role.
Oh, we did?
After Dien Bien Phu, yes, 1954. So the French were surrounded, and they capitulated to the North Vietnamese army led by Ho Chi Minh. Of course, then you have the Viet Cong, the South Vietnamese, and that's who we were stuck between, because they weren't our friends either. But the CIA is trying to train these people, these guerrillas, to fight Ho Chi Minh and all of this sort of thing. Because God forbid communism fall in Southeast Asia. And that was the fear. Even though Ho Chi Minh, when they win the Battle of Dien Bien Phu, pens a letter in the spirit of Thomas Jefferson, even quoting him about the victory to the Eisenhower administration. But anyway, Kennedy comes to this decision to allow subversive involvement, but we're not going to put the military in Vietnam. He's killed in 1963. McNamara and Clark Clifford become Johnson's advisors. McNamara wins the debate. They escalate the Vietnam War.
So I think that escalated it when he wanted that all stopped. I mean, it escalated quick for him to be killed because of that, don't you think?
Could be. Because the military-industrial complex is not about war. It's about money.
Money.
And even Dwight David Eisenhower, Republican, 5-star general, hero that saved Europe from the Nazis, recognized that in the Cold War construct, we were entering into what he called the military-industrial complex, the marriage between military and business in the pursuit of wealth and profit rather than the protection of the nation.
Jesus Christ. Jesus,
he
Jenny.
said it in his farewell address the day he left Washington, D.C. How many people were paying attention?
One.
I wasn't around. I'm kidding. But no, it's a great speech. It is a and when you start reading it and you know what we know about the Cold War, the only thing you can say is, well, fuck. You know,
just off the topic, what did you think of Churchill?
Churchill was a racist, and a bigot, and a misogynist, and an incredible leader of men.
Yeah, how in the fuck?
Yeah.
How does that even...
An incredible leader of men. He lost to Neville, was it Neville Chamberlain in 1946. He loses the prime ministership when Gandhi caused him to lose India.
But he was getting really sick, right?
Yeah, maybe, but Chamberlain beat Churchill for the prime ministership, if I've got the name right, because they could not subdue India. And India was still a British colony in 1946.
That fucking Churchill, though. God damn, he was can I say a piece of shit?
He was a piece of shit. He was absolutely a piece of shit. There's a fun story, not really fun, but so there's a meeting between Franklin Delano Roosevelt, Joseph Stalin, and Winston Churchill in 1944, before FDR dies. This is right before he dies. And they're talking about how the new world after World War II is going to end, because it was very clear the Nazis were losing traction, et cetera, et cetera. This is truly a Masters of the Universe meeting. They're talking about what spheres of influence you're going to have. Where's the United States going to operate? Where's Russia, the Soviet Union, going to operate? Where is England going to operate? Churchill and Stalin divide Europe. Stalin is illiterate. He puts a red X next to what they've agreed to. So as far as Joseph Stalin was concerned, when he started dropping the Red Army across Eastern Europe, it was perfectly fine to do so because Winston Churchill had given him the green light to do so. Had told him it was okay.
Isn't that fucking something? So the reason why I asked about Churchill, and I'm going because we're talking about Israel, we're talking about Nazis, we're talking about, and I'm glad you said that, because other people have said that. Piece of shit, misogynist, all this crap, but what a fucking leader, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's what they said about the Nazi dude. Why can't I think of his name?
You should tell that to my professor in history.
That killed all the Jews. Why can't I think of his name?
Hitler.
Why do people think? Why do people think that? Of course, he's a piece of shit doing whatever, but the leadership.
Yeah,
he was able to control all of that and his leadership. He was just like a fucking Churchill.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
It was shit.
Yeah.
Anyway, the reason why I'm saying is like you've got that. Look at these men that were who they really were, and then what they controlled and how they controlled it, right? And what happened. And then fast forward how it's all intertwined to this one country almost. It's almost like Israel. Why do we always go back to that?
Yeah, I said he was illiterate. Winter is correct. He couldn't. They couldn't communicate other than through translators. He couldn't read. He couldn't read English. Stalin couldn't read English any more than Churchill could read Russian. So that was inaccurate. You are correct there, Evidence Self. Yeah, sorry about that.
Evidence.
But anyway,
that story's nonsense. Stalin was a thug.
Stalin was a thug, and yes, he was educated. You are correct, but he was educated in Russian. So I said he was illiterate. I should have said he can't read in English. But they couldn't hardly communicate except through translators. It doesn't change the fact either that it was the second agreement he had, because they had the Hitler-Stalin Pact in August of 1939, right before the invasion of Poland, for those of you playing along at home. And Stalin was completely embarrassed in 1941, I believe it was, June 41, when completely embarrassed when he thought that Hitler would never invade the Soviet Union.
Yeah.
And he did. And then Stalin orders the military to stand down because it couldn't possibly be the Nazis. And it was the Nazis.
Oh,
and
no.
They destroyed his Air Force.
Right.
And he went into hiding for 10 days. Lots of fun facts you learn when you have European history degree, and Soviet history is your bread and butter.
Mr. Red.
It's a lot of fun shit, to Madusa. But yeah.
I love this shit. I eat it up. I'm just a fucking sponge around here, and I learned so much more.
It genuinely is. But yes, to your point, the original question, Winston Churchill, absolute dog shit human being, amazing, incredible leader.
God, it just
people bought into it. Like Hitler was a good leader in that sense, that he got people, fanatics especially, to 100% believe whatever the hell he was selling, thanks to all of the environmental factors of Germany in the 1920s and 30s. The Great Depression, the defeat in the war, the embarrassment by France and England, the fact that inflation was through the fucking roof, the market sucked, all of that stuff, and Hitler preyed on that. And then he blamed the Jews and everybody else, and then he built the military. They tried to slap his wrist. He kept doing it.
Because he blamed the Jews because they kept...
They were easy scapegoats.
That, and there was something else, like they kept not reinventing, but they were successful or something. There was like, we need to stop letting them breed or something. I don't know why, but he said something like they were stealing stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I can't I'll have to get that straight, but I can't remember the other reasons why.
But all of this in the context of what we're talking about, when you form the Cold War and you put the world between two poles, that of the Soviet Union and the United States of America, you have now every decision, every event, every person is through one of those two lenses. Does not matter. Mao Zedong and Joseph Stalin could not stand each other. Their versions of communism entirely different. Both used the ideology for the control of the nations they owned. Power. It was all about power. Neither one of them were the heartfelt communists of a Trotsky or a Lenin, of a Tito in Yugoslavia, but they didn't have to be.
So do you think that people think that way of Trump and his thinking? I truly believe that. I mean, Trump is very smart and he studies. He's kind of like an Elon Musk, and their fucking brains are both on the spectrum, right? So I think that I don't know, but I feel that he's looking at these leaderships and how their control was I think he feels like that he has that power, that control, and I think that's where people get guided, or they get fearsome of him, like they're going to be this he's that bad person, but with the leadership skills. I don't know, because he sure can control the masses.
Yeah, Trump plays people like a fiddle. He gets you to go exactly where he wants you to go, and it's a good sign of a politician and a leader. It doesn't make him a good man or a bad man. It just makes him. That's his capability, is the manipulation of the masses.
Yeah.
People hear the word manipulation and it automatically has a negative connotation. But when you get, and it is no different than professional wrestling, Madusa, you get the crowd to sing along with Seth Rollins. You get the crowd to sing Randy Orton's theme song. You are the maestro, and you are holding the conducting stick. And you're getting them to do exactly what you want to do. Donald Trump is no different that way.
You know what? I think you hit on something. It's something to do with the Jewish banker, the whole banking system.
That's
way back
evident.
then.
Yeah.
Yes.
So the Jews were the bankers, I do believe. I say Jews. Please don't take that the wrong way.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the Jewish people. I believe they were indeed.
Kennard. I think that was what it was. I think so. It really hit it when I read that. It hit like, yeah, I think that's what it was. They were controlling the money or something. I can't remember how it was.
Then you have the Night of the Broken Glass, where they just simply, because I can't say it in German, but the translation in English is the Night of the Broken Glass, where they destroy all of the Jewish businesses, and you really set the stage for what we see. But my point is, about any of this Cold War conversation, what does it have to do with the Kennedy assassination? It has everything to do with the Kennedy assassination, because inside the Cold War, it was very easy to blame Cuba. It was very easy to blame Soviet Russia for the assassination of the president that maybe was done by an American. A broken knife.
Their own shit. So that wraps that up, guys.
Night of the broken knives, not the broken glass. Winners on top of things. So
she is. So that's where we're going, people. And we just tapped into it. So when are we going to get together again, my dear?
I don't know. It'll be a couple weeks, probably.
Really?
You're going to Indianapolis on the 25th. Yeah,
but that's on the 25th of what?
April.
Yeah, but my first gig isn't till the 25th. Right? Yeah. And then May 2nd. Or something.
August 2nd, honey.
Or that 2nd. Too.
Redness triggered winner so hard. Good. You get a deal with her, did you?
What?
The point of blaming every single bankers. Anything they could say to get the people to believe them, they said it. So I'm going to bring Winter's comment up here and just make my own. The common enemy, united Germany, against the Jews. But the common enemy, the element of the common enemy, is a component of what is called the cult of personality. Not CM Punk's song, even though it's appropriate for Pepsi Phil, who reminded everybody that he works with children last night. But the cult of personality is a way that rulers rule. And so Stalin, Mussolini, Hitler, that are named in the song by In Living Color, it's all about the propaganda machine, finding a common enemy, having a direction, the fanaticism. Mao Zedong ruled with a cult of personality. Ho Chi Minh, cult of personality. Fidel Castro, who we're going to talk a lot more, cult of personality. Obviously, Hitler, Mussolini, Stalin, Lenin, Trotsky, even to some degrees, well, even though he was never really in charge of the Soviet Union, all ruled with some sort of cult of personality. You're putting the leader on a pedestal, and the media is state-supported, so they are using the propaganda machine to only increase that.
Yeah.
And by blaming the Jews, you're finding a common enemy. So, Ayatollah Khomeini.
Everyone needed to believe in that common enemy. Or they wanted everyone to, yes.
Ayatollah Khomeini famously called the United States the Great Satan. So what he did was, there was years of civil war. There was another leader in power, Shah Reza II. He fomented a revolution from Paris from 1965 to 1979. We get the Iranian Revolution. It happens. But he was a leader by the cult of personality. His common enemy was the United States of America, the great Satan. His other enemy was the little Satan, that was Israel. So my point is that this is not something that's uncommon. In fact, every dictatorship in some way, shape, or form. Yeah, so it is the night of the broken glass. Thank you, Evidence Self. I didn't think that I was incorrect there. Anywho, the cult of personality is something that we can study because it also applies to American presidents.
Yes.
We do put them on pedestals. We do have media that supports them.
The fucking...
The American presidents, starting with Franklin Delano Roosevelt forward, became far more of a persona and a personality. And some people will say that's television, but there's other elements at play. And that does not exclude one John F. Kennedy.
Jesus criminy. God, it's so deep. It's just so much. Okay, back. It's the 25th. So April Fools, which is a Tuesday.
That's next week, and
Tuesday.
I don't even know what my schedule is next week.
What? You got a hot date, or what do we have?
No, I'm talking about my work schedule.
Oh, you don't?
Oh,
already a week out, you don't know.
I would imagine...
Thursdays, we're back on Twitch, everybody. So this Thursday, the Twitch, the Mad Mod Squad and us will be twitching for the first time this year, this Thursday. So we will not be doing any podcasting on Thursdays. So we're going to try for our Tuesdays like we normally do if Red can get his schedule.
Yeah, so the 8th isn't going to work because I'm not going to be off that day. So it probably would have to do the 9th.
So how late do you work on the 8th?
Oh, until at least 8 o'clock.
Oh, okay. All right.
That ain't going to work.
Okay. But maybe the 1st.
Yeah, that's only a week from now.
Yeah. But not the 8th. So maybe we can do the 15th as well. That's tax day. How appropriate.
Yeah. Yeah, let me think on that. Could be the 1st. May have to be, the 9th, not the 10th, because guess what? Twitch is back.
Yeah, bitches. Could be the 9th.
C-Note right here. I get it all day, but you get it right here. Deuce about to be on her bullshit next week.
He's so good. Oh my God, the love from C-Note. Let me tell you. That's so good. Can someone stamp that and we'll just put that out there?
Yeah,
that's good.
C-Note had no lie. Digi's on it. Look at Digi. Digi here. C-Note, no lies to tell. Look at what he's doing to you. This is what your people do to you. Like we all know you or something.
Yeah, I mean, God. Jeez, there's lots of love here. All right, well, let me know. We'll keep you guys posted. So,
yeah, in the next show.
When's WrestleMania?
The 20th. Okay. Rob Van Dam's favorite day.
Yeah, 4/20. So we're definitely going to have to do a podcast or two before WrestleMania, and then of course a after. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. I mean, it was great. Kicking it off with some indie stuff. We'll definitely get some more indie stuff and go over that. I hope you enjoyed it. And of course, talking about current stuff. We didn't get to talk about AEW this time. That's all right. Maybe next time.
We talked about them a lot last time, and I was
we
very
did
complimentary, so I filled my quota for the year.
Okay, fine. Listen, Burpy or Bumpy.
I'm Bumpy. You're Bumper.
Okay, Bumpy. I feel like we're a bunch of Bambi deers or something. Bumpy and Bumper.
It's a bad nick. It's a bad nick. I don't know why you're running with it, but I guess we'll just
Bumpy and Bumper.
Let it go. Yeah, Bumper.
Welcome to Trash Talk. Bumpy and Bumper. I
don't know why we do this to ourselves.
It's so good.
Thank you all for joining us. It was good to see the entire crowd, and
Yes. Thank you.
we
Thank you.
appreciate the conversation. Look, this is the other thing: Evidence Self, Winter, C Note, Digi, even God forbid, Digi. Damn it, Digi. Tell him, dude.
Damn it, Digi.
He
caught the fact that I almost broke my camera. He goes, "Don't you be fucking."
Don't do that. Yeah.
It was so good.
I saw it.
He doesn't miss a beat.
Just keep coming on board with us, guys. We're
The
not going to get
bump
everything
files.
right.
The bump files.
I appreciate the corrections in the chat. Seriously, you
Yeah.
did catch me because that was bad calling Stalin illiterate. All I meant was he couldn't read English. And
still,
the night of the long knives, the night of the broken glass. We're gonna get it all right. You guys are asking me to dig 15 years into graduate school, so it's been a while since I've been in a classroom. But
this is a classroom.
Oh my God. I'm sitting here listening to us and we're going over this and I'm like, oh God, I remember this. I remember this. I remember. And I'm just, here it comes. Just regurgitation.
Oh, that's so good though.
Yeah.
That's good. I'm glad. Thank you, Bumpy, for being here.
You never said if it was the guy on the grassy knoll or not. We never got there.
No, we're not even there yet. We're just telling you a precursor to what we're going to be talking about.
Yeah, we never really got to the grassy knoll and the man with the umbrella and the Zapruder film and
the guy with the camera going.
The camera, yeah, the Zapruder film. And then you hear on JFK in the movie with Kevin Costner, back and to the left, talking about how Kennedy gets shot. Back and to the left. The bullet went back, and he says it like half a dozen times. You're like, we got it, dude. He went back into the left. You know, I don't know what else to say.
And we got to find a bunch of them old TV clips too. It's in that one string of files that I sent you on.
Can we play them? I think we can play them. They're public. Information.
Yes, it's public domain. Yeah. And so they have a bunch of them interviews after where people actually come out and kind of tell the truth, and all of a sudden it is just fucking wiped. You've never heard them again. And so now it's in the files. All of these years, 60 years, half of these interviews have been just
it's just like for you people that don't believe that 9/11 was 9/11.
Oh, please.
They have all sorts of street interviews that got aired one time and they didn't get aired again.
Never got aired again. like Building 7 came down before. Well, CNN said, well, Building 7 has just come down and and never came down until later.
Yeah. Yeah, interesting. That'll be another conspiracy topic that I probably get mad at Madusa on. This one's probably more neutral, to be honest. The Kennedy assassination. We're probably we're closer together.
You hate but again, fast forward. There's the government doing today's work, just like they did 60 years ago, and people can't fucking accept the fact that it was an inside job.
Oh, I can't. No, but I can accept the fact that we trained, funded, and legitimized
all those pilots.
A terrorist organization that attacked this country. Yes, that I 100% believe.
In fact, two of the damn pilots.
George Washington Archive, for any of those of you that care, the George Washington Archives has an amazing
Winter, you said, baby.
On 9/11. On 9/11, they have a great archive. Now, this is what I'll warn you about, though, because it's what we do in this country. There's files that are redacted, sentence, redacted, sentence. And so, some of it's stuff, but they have the 86 memorandum giving the CIA, again, the fucking CIA, giving a directive from President Reagan to give 1,000 Stinger missiles to the Mujahideen, the most radical elements of the Mujahideen that would become the Al-Qaeda terrorist network. Yeah, so it's all in there. It's wonderful to see what our government does and doesn't do. Sometimes I wonder this, Madusa, and we can leave on this note because it's philosophical. Are we too informed in this country? Like, do we know too much?
No, that's the problem. I think now with the internet, they knew what was going to happen, but they didn't realize what was going to happen. And I really feel, and I keep telling my husband this, I'm going to wear my tinfoil hat next fucking week. As we continue to get information and it's slowly drip, 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 it's becoming faster speed and we're able to find out the answers more quickly.
Yep.
I told my husband, there is going to be a serious fucking blackout on the next big drop of the truth of something. And whatever that is, that's when the next huge attempt on the assassination of the president is probably going to be.
Wow. Wow. Yeah.
Just saying, not me. I'm not planning that shit. I'm just saying,
No,
you just see the writing, like it's too, like you can just see it already happening. It's already fucking written. It's just crazy. I don't know. It's just too much so fast that I don't know if people can handle it. It is what it is. Just give us the fucking truth. Next thing you know, the fucking aliens will be landing on our goddamn house.
You ain't got to worry about the aliens landing. They don't fucking want us. So
they don't. Yeah, they look at this mess and go, "What did we create down there? What the fuck?"
Like, these fucking people let Joe Biden pretend to be in charge for 4 years. We're not good. We're not kidnapping any of these sons of bitches. Let them all go.
I like how Joe Biden reared his ugly head and said, "I'll help lead the Democratic Party this time." And I'm like, "What? Go sit this one out. Go to the beach."
Didn't he? Did what?
Yes. Yeah. Didn't he just like a week ago? You see Biden just all of a sudden they had him up there on the news a little bit. And all of a sudden he's like, "Yeah, let me help them. I'm here to help if you need it. I'm here to help, whatever. The Bernie Sanders and AOC, direct them the right way." I'm like, what the fuck? No, someone needs to set that man down.
There was a great meme about Bernie and AOC. I can't remember what it said now, but it was something like a communist who's never worked a day in his life and a waitress who's somehow whatever, or bartender. I don't remember.
You mean a night waitress?
Yeah, it was
a streetwalker.
It was funny to me. And if the Democratic Socialists in this country think that's the dream team, y'all have at it. Because I have got jokes for days about Barney Sanders and AOC.
Oh boy. Okay. On that note, we'll let you know when the next one is, and we'll carry on.
Yes, we will. See y'all.
And I'm not a crook.